Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Mayank, and I am starting a brand new podcast. A podcast that is going to decode the elections for you, to decode and tell you the entire strategy of how elections are contested and won. Why am I starting this? Because, like Dale Carnegie, when he wrote the book called How to Win Friends and Influence People, then there was Mr. Napoleon Hill when he wrote the book Think and Grow Rich, or Mr. Robert Greene in the modern world when he wrote the book 48 Laws of Power. They all have found out a science of their particular field. Similarly, very little or less has been done in the field of how elections are won or contested. In India or anywhere around the world, there is a monopoly of there is a monopoly of big political parties, big wealthy industrialists, that how this secret knowledge is in the hands of very few people. And yet, when it is in the hands of very selected few people, only few are able to make make rules or run the country according to them. So a true sense of empowerment would be when this knowledge is made available or this science is made available to everybody on this planet who wants to contest or win elections. I want to bring this podcast in the memory of my grandmother who passed uh, 2 days back. She was a wise lady who lived a very honorable and dignified life in her own essence, and never demanding or never desiring too much, but yet staying contented in her own life. And also, I want to thank a very dear special friend of mine who has been an inspiration behind my podcast. How inspiration is different from motivation is motivating without any groundwork, but how my friend motivated me is by leading and doing something himself, and then inspiring it that I have done this like this, uh, and not only inspiring and then supporting me to how to start this. So today on our show we have Mr. Hitesh Shakya in my first episode. Mr. Hitesh Shakya is a former IIT'ian, a author, a musician, and whatnot. His video of burning his IIT degree went viral on YouTube. He wrote the book called Sub Neuroplasticity Hai. And then he's the founder of a so-called superior society, which equips and empowers people equally. So why is Hitesh on my show? Because Hitesh recently contested elections from Ajmer in Rajasthan, the municipality elections. Though he stood for fourth position, uh, he is a founding member of a party called Recall Party. It has a unique idea, and which says that if if the vote that you have given to your people, if the vote that you have given to your chosen candidate, if you feel that you do not like him performing through his midterm, then you are free to call him back, ask your vote back. Though this is a very new concept, so let's have Mr. Hitesh on our show.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Hitesh. Welcome to the first episode of my podcast, Decoding Elections.
Okay, is it going to be exclusively in English or we can speak Hindi also?
Any style that suits you, Hitesh.
But my style includes a lot of abusive words also.
Please try
But
to avoid.
right now I'm with the family, so I won't be using those words.
Yeah, that's a good news for us that you are with the family.
So tell me.
So Hitesh, I have been telling my listeners about your story, how you are an author, musicians, and whatnot. You are the founder of the Superior Society and the founding members of a Recall Party, and you recently contested elections from Ajmer municipality. Though you stood fourth, but your audacity is really applaudable. Hitesh, so what is your story? Tell us about it to begin with.
So there is nothing special or unique about my story.
Mm-hmm.
I was a regular introvert guy who was good at his studies, but
Mm-hmm.
not good at anything else than studies.
Mm-hmm.
So I was shy introvert and low confident guy. Then I started my self improvement journey.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually, which resulted into like becoming an author and public speaker and politician and musical like music enthusiast. I wouldn't call myself a musician, but just
Mm-hmm.
a music enthusiast and someone who talks, who knows little about spirituality and then promotes his own theories or his own perspective, if I may say so.
So
Yeah. So
Hitesh,
this, yeah.
I have been telling my listeners that how you are a YouTube content creator and how your video "Why I Burnt My IIT Degree" got viral. Okay, so that was a big push. So why did you actually burn your IIT degree, and why did you decide to contest elections in the first place? What motivated you?
See, in regard of burning my IIT degree, it is very simple that I realized and I saw that most of the IITians who studied some kind of engineering like computer engineering or electronics engineering or mechanical engineering, whatever
Mm-hmm.
engineering they are pursuing, they are not eventually becoming engineers.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of becoming engineers, instead even of becoming like some management position in engineering firms, they are basically becoming I bankers, investment bankers, and business analysts and financial
Mm-hmm.
analysts in foreign banks.
Mm-hmm.
So that is completely like out of the league. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
waste of talent, human resource,
Mm-hmm.
money, time, effort, hopes, and everything that like all the whole country puts behind an IITian.
So you were feeling that they are becoming everything else other than the engineer.
Yes, so it's not about my degree, it's about the degree of IIT Bombay, the degree that IITs give to people, and
Okay.
it which says that you are an engineer now, but unfortunately they are not engineers. They are they are sellers of some products, FMCG products in most of the cases.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
So
So then,
so
your transformational journey. Then, how did you all of a sudden decide to contest elections? What motivated you?
see, I devised my own theories of superiority. I call it superiorism.
Mm-hmm.
So I am trying various methods to promote my concept of superiority, starting from like handing over pamphlets on the streets
Mm-hmm.
to like from like my ebooks, my YouTube channel, and my
Mm-hmm.
personal meetings also. So I realized that politics is one of those kind of methods through which I can gain publicity.
Mm-hmm.
The word can spread,
Mm-hmm.
and on this path, if I become some kind of politician also, if I start acquiring some political position also, even in that case, it is a great thing, right? So,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
when I saw politics, I saw it as a path towards
Mm-hmm.
multiple fruits. It
Mm-hmm.
can get me multiple fruits, not only
Mm-hmm.
publicity, but
Mouth.
mouth of publicity of superiority also.
Yes.
Right. And in addition to that, the reason why I chose Right to Recall Party is that the founders, basically, I'm not the founding member of Right to Recall Party.
Mm-hmm.
So Right to Recall Party is founded by Rahul Cheman Bhai Mehta and Pawan Sharma Juri.
Okay.
So when I met those people and I came to know about all those law drafts that they have proposed, I realized that these are the people that the whole country should know about.
Okay.
Right. So it's not just about my political ambitions or my superiority. It's about those people also.
So what's the concept behind a right to recall party?
The concept is very simple, right? If you elect a member and that member does not work up to our expectations, then
Mm-hmm.
the citizen should have right to call that person, to recall that person back. Not only the elected people, but also the people who are appointed by elected people, like superintendent of police and judges,
Mm-hmm.
etc.
Mm-hmm.
So not only elected people, but people who are appointed by elected people.
Mhm. So don't you think that because people are never satisfied, they will call everybody who is not obliging to their demands, be it the superintendent of police, be it a doctor.
So if you go through our vote Vapsi passbook, hashtag vote Vapsi
Mm,
passbook carefully, you will come to know it is not just that simple, that people did not like
mm,
one person, one appointed or elected person, and that person will be recalled. It's not directly like this.
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you want to recall chief minister, so
Mm-hmm.
the people of the state will show the majority against the existing chief minister to PM.
Mm-hmm.
So those
Okay.
people will ask, that PM will be asked to replace, not just remove, replace the existing CM.
So, do you think that do you want to do it again in a after elections? Suppose after elections and 1 year of elections. So you are saying that people will take a representation to the honorable prime minister or to the honorable whosoever concerned.
Yes.
So, do you want a re-voting system?
It is not actually a re-voting system, because again, if you
Mm-hmm.
go through hashtag vote wapsi passbook, that
Okay.
yellow passbook
Okay.
that you must have gone
Yes.
through. So
Yes.
in that passbook, there is a page of, let's say, chief minister. So
Okay.
existing chief minister of our state is like Ashok Gehlot, and people do not want Ashok Gehlot to continue to be the CM. They want Hitesh Shakya,
Mm-hmm.
है ना? And total amount Svikritis. We are calling Svikritis here. Svikriti.
Okay.
So Ashok Gehlot
Mm-hmm.
has, say, let's say 30% Svikriti, and Hitesh Shakya has 70% Svikriti. So that is it.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no question of re-election or any kind of elections in that case.
Okay. Okay.
So the 70% people of Rajasthan is telling PM that remove Ashok Gehlot and make Hitesh Shakya CM of this state. So there is simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
But this will again be considered by, if only if and only if PM thinks that Hitesh Shakya is right candidate, that he should be given opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
that the democracy here should be given opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
then Hitesh Shakya can be appointed as a CM, and he cannot be also.
So, Hitesh, how many contestants contested from your party in Rajasthan municipal elections?
See, during this time when my elections were there, that time
Mm-hmm.
only I think two or three cities were having these elections. But
Okay.
before that, there was a different belt like in Jaipur. But when my
Mm-hmm.
elections were happening, Jaipur was not there. So
Okay.
during my elections, Bhilwara and Bundi, they have their elections. So
Okay.
if you include all the participants, like from
Mm-hmm.
Bhilwara and Ajmer, then Bundi, then it will be 25 candidates, you missed.
Yeah, that's a fair number to start with.
Yeah, I'm so glad to see that.
Yes, Hitesh. See, it says, the spark of a big revolution is always a very smaller one. And you never know that you are working so hard, it might cause a spark. Because when Anna Hazare was protesting at Janpat or Jantar Mantar against Jan Lokpal, then you never knew that it would turn out to be such a huge movement, right? So there is always my best wishes for the fire that you are going or trying to ignite in the people.
Hmm.
So the next question that I want to ask is, during your contesting elections or pre-contesting elections, what are the difficulties you faced?
Um, the difficulty, if you ask as such, I will not be able to name any difficulty as such, because everything was a new experience, a whole exciting experience.
Mm-hmm.
And in these elections, I was not alone. I was all the time guided by Pawan Sharma Jury, who has
Okay.
been in politics, who has been with RSS and BJP for more than 20 years. He knows every single thing. Like he even knows what should be the color of pamphlet, what kind of font should be used, what kind of font size should be used,
Okay.
and what are the
Is there
every single
is there a
thing, minute details.
okay.
He knows every single thing. Like
Okay.
he knows how cooker is better chunav chin than, let's say, camera or almari or bottle or whistle. He
Okay.
knows every single thing here. So
Okay. But knowing a thing,
imagine being
and
guided
yes,
by
yes.
Pawan Sharma jury, being guided by Pawan Sharma jury. I never had any difficulty all the while.
Okay.
Hmm.
So what was your election symbol?
My election symbol was pressure cooker.
Oh my God, I was just about to guess because you mentioned. And what was your reason? Why did you choose a cooker?
See, you know the possibilities are cooker, almari, camera, all these things are the given options, right?
Yes.
Now, among these options, why cooker is
Mm-hmm.
best? That goes with the diameter, the geometry, and the whole diagram of pressure
Uh-huh.
cooker. So that was
Mm-hmm.
the experience of Pawan Sharma jury. That in that
Okay.
small box of ballot paper, right? Ballot
Mm-hmm.
list,
Yes.
there's a small box where all the signs are there. So
Mm-hmm.
pressure cooker is the only sign which is quite appealing in that small box.
Mm-hmm. But see, I really respect that. It is more appealing and everything else. But the people still see everything counts. Reading the book Atomic Habits, everything really counts. But then saying that just because it's appealing is not the only one factor. That it's one of the many factors, right? Suppose one of the factors that I learned long back was having your name on the top of the ballot paper. So what people do normally is use AA, small AA before their name. So that way their name comes on the top, and people
Oh,
whose name come on the top of the electoral
mm,
vote, they also
right,
have
right.
increase in their vote percentage, right?
Absolutely.
So but it's a new thing to learn that even the font size, the election symbol, and they really mean a lot, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But
So
being Hitesh Shakya, I cannot have my name starting with the letter A, right?
no, what they do is they use two A's smaller and then dot and then big Hitesh Shakya.
What does that mean?
Hitesh will still be big.
A dot
That
Hitesh.
will be two small
Uh,
A's, then Hitesh Shakya. Hitesh. It's still a strategy, right? In your posters and hoardings, there will still be only Hitesh Shakya. But over there, just to get your name on the top, this is one of the strategies that they use smaller A's and then bigger H, extra bold H Hitesh.
but how can I have my name A Hitesh officially?
That is to be done before elections or some way
That's too much of a
that
task,
has to
man.
be
That
found.
is too much of a task. But it's still a great idea.
It's it's elections, you have to do everything. So speaking about Atomic Habits, there's a story
Yeah.
I read about this book. I hope you've read it. Have you?
What is it about? Which one is it?
It's about Atomic Habits. What this guy does, he's like, we have to change 1% into everything. He was training the Olympic players of some country for a competition that team had never won. So he changes the oil that was put into the cycling to the drop that was put in the eye. Everything he give 1% of his attention, to
Oh,
be improved
really?
into everything. He said, everything matters, and finally his team won, and
That is
that's the
really
team of a,
inspiring.
from the name of it.
From the name of it, from the whole crux of it.
Yes. So, Hitesh, see, you said that you never had any difficulties because you were guided by mentors. That reminds me of Newton. He said, I was always standing on the shoulders of giants, right?
I had
But then eventually,
difficulties. So I certainly had difficulties, but like all difficulties were like I was all the time guided by Pawan Sharma. So the whole experience was an excitement, man. It was quite a journey. Then a hustle or a struggle. I will never call it a hustle or struggle by any means.
so see, so there might still have been any difficulties. Like there was funding. Say, did Mister your guide give you the money to contest the elections, or did you contribute on your
No,
own?
Right to Recall Party did not contribute anything in that regard.
Okay, that's a disclaimer from your side.
Yeah, like so the party founders do not. I mean, they clearly mentioned that the party will not give any fund, and party does
Okay.
not even receive the fund.
Okay, they do not receive fund as well.
So what they want is they want the candidate to receive the fund directly from people who want to donate.
So they ask their people or their audience to donate it to
Whoever
you.
they could ask. So
Okay,
I had
and
my own society, my superior society. So I asked superior society to fund my elections. And
mhm.
superior society,
So what was the? Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So
Tell
I
me.
was about to say that superior society raised about 70 to 80K
Wow,
over a
wow,
period of 5 months. You may say. So it
hmm.
was not entirely for the elections, but for the right to recall movement.
So did you use any platforms like there is ourdemocracy.in, then there is Facebook charity donor ad and all that stuff? Did you use any online platforms also?
No, I did not have that experience. I did not use them also because the only thing that I had was superior society. So I would go on Facebook
So
and I tell superior society that this is what I'm doing, this is what I have. If you want to contribute more, please contribute more.
so you asked your people to
Yeah,
contribute for your
yeah, yeah.
elections. So did you ask for funds from your local people who are going to vote for
No,
you
I did
also?
not.
See, that is why I'm asking you, is because there's a strategy behind this also. A person who gives you his note will also give you his vote. That's making him contribute, or that's what we call, if in your terms, it's called making investment.
Yeah, you are right. But
So
the problem is that I never had any kind of rapport. between me and my neighbors and
Mm-hmm.
people of my ward. Right, as I
Mm-hmm.
mentioned in the beginning of this whole conversation, that I was raised as an introvert child. So
Mm-hmm.
I killed my introvertness outside the city, like in Mumbai and Delhi. I worked upon my skills. So the
Mm-hmm.
lack of rapport between me and my neighbors in my hometown always remained there.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know
Okay.
anybody, nobody knew me there.
So after contesting elections, have you started to build a
Like
rapport with
after
them?
contesting elections, 5,000 people started knowing me. So that
Wow. So what was the first reaction of the people when they, when they heard that, Hitesh is contesting elections from your neighbor, the people who thought that you were an introvert kind of guy, and then suddenly they hear that you're going to contest elections. What was the reaction? Was they hateful? Was they resentful? Were they loving? Were they inspiring? What was it?
So initially they were surprised, like, "कौन है ये? Nobody knows him. Nobody knows him." हाँ, Premlata, his mother, everybody knows Premlata. ये मेरी मम्मी है, but nobody knows this
Mm-hmm.
guy. But he's
Mm-hmm.
educated. He's from IIT. He wants to get into politics. He wants to like move
Mm-hmm.
forward and has political aspirations. So we should like push this guy. We should appreciate this guy. But again, the question remains same, that
Mm-hmm.
nobody knew him before he came into the elections. So that
Mm-hmm.
was a mixed response.
Mm-hmm. So what were the strategies? How many days did you campaign for your elections? How many days did you get
Again, I would
actually?
not say elections, but for right to recall movement. So
Okay.
I worked for right to recall movement for about 4 months consistently.
No. After filing your
Uh,
nomination, I want to ask about that. See, suppose you got your symbol, and then you wanted to file your nomination. After that, how many days did you get to campaign for yourself?
7 days.
Okay, in those 7 days, what are the modes of campaigning, and what strategies you used? Can you please tell about that?
So in strategies, it was like the primary thing was to the distribute pamphlets. We used to have this 20-page pamphlet. Yeah,
20
20-page
page.
pamphlet. It was quite a booklet, a small booklet, which
Mm-hmm.
included everything about right to recall, history, and jury system, and how gadget notification works, and why people are kept ignorant of gadget notification.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody teaches what the gadget notification and what its power is in textbooks, in newspapers, in news also. Nobody tells them.
Mm-hmm.
So in that
Okay.
booklet, a small booklet, so we had about 1,000 booklets printed.
Okay.
So
What was the cost? What's the cost of each booklet, if you can please
seven
tell?
seven rupees.
So your fund was 80K, right?
Yeah,
So within 80K, you contested your
the
entire elections, or you
whole
contributed some.
election. Again, I'm mentioning not just elections, the whole right to recall movement, which is
Okay, no, I'm Hitesh. Yes, I understand completely. I'm asking about those 7 days of the nomination. You wanted to promote yourself. In that, you used 80K that was funded by the superior society of yours that you have
no, no.
created.
80K was not just about filing elections. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about the whole contribution that came to me after September 2020 to January 2021. That was whole counted
Yes.
to 70 to 80K. But if you are talking
Mm-hmm.
about
Okay.
those 7 days after filing nomination, so I mean that
Mm.
must be about let's say 40 or 45K.
Okay,
Uh,
45K. Okay. So out of the thousand booklets, you got it printed with seven for
yeah,
each,
7 rupees.
right? So you spent 7,000 rupees on
Yes,
them, right?
and a lot of
And
banners I
and
use, a lot of single page pamphlets I also got printed.
single page, yes. And you had volunteers to distribute. How would you would go door to door? You would cover the area, or you would give it in the
We would
newspapers?
go door to door, but volunteer is not the right word here. We called superiors. Like I invited superiors from all over the country. So some superiors
Okay. So there
uh,
were how many? There were how many superiors with
at
you?
different time, different number of superiors were there. In the end, there were only five superiors during last 5 days of elections. So five
Mm-hmm.
superiors were there, but each and every superior was like quite potential, full of potential, right?
Yeah, it reminds me of the words of this guy Napoleon Bonaparte.
What was that?
I want to quote him when he says that, I do not need an army of lambs
Uh,
or dogs. I don't need an army of thousand dogs. I need an army of a single lion.
so that's it. Fair
Right.
enough.
So maybe your superiors had the equal
Uh,
potential, not the quantity but the quality of
so
volunteers.
another thing that I would like to like quote here is that See, Pawan Sharma told
Mm-hmm.
me that when election comes,
Mm-hmm.
then all these parties, like
Mm-hmm.
big established parties, they're going to do a big circus. Like, you
Okay.
understand what circus means? Like, बहुत सारे लोग साथ में चलना, जोर जोर से म्यूजिक बजाना, all that thing is called circus.
Hmm.
So Pawan Sharma told me
Yes.
that
Yes.
in उस सर्कस से आप उनसे जीत नहीं पाओगे. You will not be able to like stand in front of them when it comes to that circus.
Mm.
They are quite powerful
Yes.
and experienced in that. But apart
Yes.
from that circus, that noise, they do not have anything else to tell people. Like what they
Yes.
distribute in the name of pamphlet is that like one single page, single sided pamphlet. It only includes like
Okay.
number, name of the contestant, etc. Basic things. But when we are
Yeah.
distributing our 20-page pamphlet, 20-page booklets, so that was not the
Mm-hmm.
only 20-page booklet that we distributed. In addition to that, we also distributed vote Vapsi passbook, that yellow vote Vapsi passbook.
Yes.
So that also we got 1,000
Mm-hmm.
vote Vapsi passbook. We got printed again for 6 rupees
Mm-hmm.
each. So we had so much of
Yes. Okay.
content that we could offer to people that they could go through and get to know about our philosophy,
Mm-hmm.
right to recall party, and our ambitions. So Pawan
See,
Sharma
Hitesh.
said कि सर्कस में आप
Yes.
उनसे
Yes.
नहीं जीत पाओगे, but what you are giving people in form of pamphlets and booklets, उसमें वो आपसे नहीं जीत पाएंगे. That's what he said.
Hmm. He's correct, Hitesh, and I don't doubt your intentions also, because you had the purest of intentions and you have the content also. But dear friend, I want to ask, does the library attract more crowd, or does the circus?
See, Pawan Sharma had different objective. I have different objectives. My objective was to get publicity
Mm-hmm.
and let the word of superiority go around,
Mm-hmm.
right? That was my objective. And
Yes.
Pawan
Yes.
Sharma always wants to attract
Yes.
activists. So what he says that this pamphlet is going
Okay.
to going to go out there and bring activists in. So
Yes.
that was
Yes.
his
Yes.
objective.
So, you mean, it was like the tipping point. You were looking for a tipping point, right? Anytime it's going to like spread like
And I think I'm
wildfire.
selling something good.
Yeah. You had faith when you were giving something rather than the hollow promises that
Yeah, so
others
we
were
do not
giving,
believe
right?
in like giving and offering promises.
Yes. So, Hitesh, how did your life change before elections and after you contested elections? The person, how do you feel differently, the Hitesh before elections and the Hitesh after having contested
See,
elections?
nothing much. I was always longing for a rapport between me and my neighbors, so I got that. Right. So when it comes to
Okay.
confidence and connections, so that is not of much importance because I was always confident enough. So it's not that
Yes,
I
you were.
killed some of my fears, I killed some of my insecurities. All insecurities had gone back already. You know. So
Yes.
all what I got is the connections, the rapport between me and my neighbors. So this is one thing that I got. Second thing, I got this first hand experience. Like I used to think that contesting for elections is really a big deal, but I realized it is not at
Hmm.
all. May it be local body elections or MP
Okay.
elections or ML elections.
Yes, yes. So, Hitesh, now that you
Hmm.
have contested elections, so what's next? What's your goal now? What next?
There is nothing new which is going to be next. Like I'm spreading the word of superiority from places to places. That's what I did for past 5 years, and that's what I'm going to do.
No, I wanted to ask, now that there are going to be elections of the Lok Sabha in 24 and the Vidhan Sabha of
Certainly, you're
Rajasthan
going
that
to see
going
me
to
there
come.
again and
So,
again.
yeah,
And spreading
yes,
the
I
word of
will see you there.
superiority.
So, what are your Yes. So, what are your beforehand preparations for that? Suppose if you wish to contest, we cannot see. See, I really respect your emotions and your feelings and the audacity, but then we cannot just go on contesting every election that's coming our way, right? See, so what are your beforehand preparations? What election do you want to contest next, and what are your beforehand preparations for it?
See, the only preparation that I'm going to do is to again work on ground now within my own constituency. Right. So
Okay.
earlier people did not know me. Now they started knowing me. So I have to like go and meet them on regular basis and build my rapport and expand my network in my own constituency. I was net expanding my network anyway, but it was not focused in my own
Mm-hmm.
constituency.
Yes. Yes. So you have found out your
Certainly,
target
and it's a
population.
lot fun. So don't take it as a struggle or hustle or task at all. It's a lot fun. I
Yes,
long
yes.
for it. Like right now, I'm in Gwalior, so I have this fascination when I go back to Ajmer. I'm going to do this and that to expand my network.
Hey, I really wanted to ask you that, because since last 1 week I've been trying to connect to you, but someday you are in Indore, someday you are somewhere, and when I met you also, because I want to tell my listeners how I met you, and because you were speaking about insecurities, I met you one fine day in Connaught Place, and you were talking to people, a lot of number of people, because you were practicing on yourself, right? And that's when I found you, and then I we were talking because I'd already heard about you. That was in 2012 maybe, right? Because I was also, then I asked you, Hitesh, give me some advice, and then you said, look at yourself, your t-shirt is out of the way, your body frame is out of the way, you speak too fast, so that day I really went and pondered upon myself. I don't know how better I have got from the day that you saw me to now, but then I feel that, so I wanted to ask, what do you do in a day? Why are you always traveling? Where are you always traveling? How do you organize, and how do you plan your meetings and events? What do you do in a day?
I just follow my heart whole day, whatever my heart says.
So So suppose you wake up in the morning and your heart says go to Gwalior. So you go to Gwalior, or you have your number of your group that you have created, the superior society. The people from Gwalior call
Not
you over
so
there.
immediately and not so spontaneously, but I look for the resources and people and the funds that I have at my own disposal. So I like have a look at it, and if I see that the whole thing is going to be exciting and fun and effortless, then only I organize it, and I let people know that this is what is going to happen. So they come there and let me.
So suppose your friends or other superior people from your society, the group that you have created from, suppose Meghalaya calls you, right? And now they've called you for a 2 day stay. What do you do there when you go over there, right? What do you do over there in
See, if
Meghalaya city?
everything is funded, then I'm going to go anyway. And don't care what's going to happen there. I'm going to go there, like explore things and meet people and exchange thoughts and see how I can be a partner in their journey of superiority, and how can I get those people to become partner in my journey of superiority. I hope that's not too abstract.
See the major, yes, yes. So the major part of what I wanted, a piece of your brain, I'm really getting it, but the main part of it was your backbone. Like, how did your family, support or not support you? What was their reaction from a budding career that you could earn, I mean, millions to the IITians that they are making per year? I mean, leaving every that, how was their reaction? How did they respond to you?
um See, I do not belong to a well-off family or a rich family, but there was no
Mm-hmm.
problem of bread and butter, basic survival in my own family. Like
Mm-hmm.
I have two
Mm-hmm.
sisters, they both are government employed. My dead father's
Mm-hmm.
pension still comes. My mother's pension still comes.
Mm-hmm.
So almost everyone, including dead people in my home, I mean, they are settled. Like they do not have to
Mm-hmm.
worry about the survival. So the only thing
Mm-hmm.
that I had to go through was the criticism from society, which I do not care about because I could see the truth 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, which they
Mm-hmm.
could not see. So and
Okay.
when it comes to my own survival and bread and butter, for some reason I can tell you, man, like I was always confident about it that I'm not going to die,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not going to like starve to death, and even if I do, then it is worth it because otherwise that the life that I was living anyway, that was not worth living. है ना?
Mm-hmm.
What's the point of like continue to live
Yes, yes.
like that way? Instead starve to death, and in case I
Yes.
don't starve to death, then like the whole paradise is waiting for me, right? That's what I realized.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where the whole point is
Mm-hmm.
coming from, where, like what kind of support I got from family, what kind of support I did not get. So I did not get any financial support because I did not need it in first place. All I got is like criticism, which I could face anyway, which I didn't never cared about, right? So that is it.
Mm. You finally, decided to get out of the rat race that everybody is into. There is this new movie called The White Tiger, based on Arvind Adiga's novel, right? And that's how the story is also about a man who wants to get out of the cage that he has been put
Right. So
into
it
by
happened in
society.
October 2016. And again, the word decision is the wrong word
Mhm.
here, because I did not decide. It just happened on its own. What I did all the while is to follow my heart. That particular day, my heart said that
Yeah.
this is what you got to do, and here's the energy packet, here's the enthusiasm packet. Take this energy packet and enthusiasm packet and confidence packet, and like follow your heart. So that's what I did.
See, this is a very big thing that you have said, following
but
and listening
but
to your
but
heart,
before
This is a
that,
very
I
big
was
thing that
doing
touches.
that for
Yeah.
years in
Yes.
atomically. That's what you also mentioned, right? So for
Okay.
following my heart has been my atomic nature for past 10 years. Before that,
See, following your heart or listening to your heart is the thing that is connecting a doctor and an IITian right now at this moment.
certainly, man.
Uh, so, Hitesh, finally, we are going to conclude the season. But I want to ask you, what's one thing you wish you had known when you began, rather than now that
Began
you
like
are here?
5 years ago or like 15 years ago.
Your journey of elections, or your journey of your superior society, or when you went to the IIT? What is one thing that you feel that you wish that your listeners know it, that you knew?
That one thing is that, what to tell you, man? Again, follow your heart. That's so again all what I can tell.
Yes. Now, so I'm going to have a quick
Okay,
rapid fire with you before concluding. Okay. So, what's your inspiration?
okay. This is going to be rapid fire one. So uh, I don't know, man. It was always inside me. That something that I could not resist.
This see, most of the people think that this is no form of inspiration, but I want to again interfere and tell between that people inspiration is also of many things. That one people contemplate by seeing somebody, and one is inner inspiration that comes, right? So this is what you want to
Okay,
say when
you
you say
social
that, right?
approval. You may
Rather
say
than
social approval.
contemplating. No, no, not social approval. Social approval is something very different. I feel something is, you say inspiration is something, is very something that comes from the within, that you feel that that the calling that you feel out of nothing, whether you have not been inspired, and just
Hmm.
you say that you want to do it, right? So this is again something that I read, other than contemplation, because if you ask somebody what was the inspiration, somebody says, okay, Rajiv Gandhi ji, or somebody else, but then you say that your inspiration was something that you felt the urge out of nowhere, that this was
There
the
was an
inner
inspiration
inspiration.
that I would not like to disclose here, because I believe this whole conversation is going to be in public soon. So I would prefer not say, prefer to say no.
Okay. 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 Okay, Hitesh, the best book you have
Some
read?
neuroplasticity hai ebook.
That's your book. Yeah,
You
that's your book. Yes. Artist always feels that his work is the best for the society.
No, it's not my work. It's divine's work that happened through me. I'm grateful that it happened through me.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. And best
Best
food?
food, you saying? Best, best food is
Yes. What do
guava,
you like
man.
to eat?
Guava. This is what I prefer.
The pink one. The pink one that is only found on the labels of fruit juices. Other than that, you never found a
I
pink
care about
guava.
the
I have never
crunchiness
seen
of
one.
it, the juiciness of it, not the color of it.
Okay. Your favorite song or movie?
A lot of them, Matrix, you may say, it's one of those ones.
Okay. Hey, have you watched that movie called Invictus?
I think I've gone through it. I don't know, long back maybe.
That's
Ah,
about Nelson
yeah, yeah,
Mandela,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
uniting South
Matt
Africa.
Damon also was there. Matt Damon, right?
See, because
He, he, he
yes, if he's
he
right.
was a
Oh,
football
have you
player.
seen about because I am reading a lot of.
Huh,
Okay, okay, okay. Because you are now stepping
huh,
into elections and politics, you better
huh.
start watching these kind of movies,
Okay,
and take inspiration from the
okay.
chapters in the history, and don't be one like the Devil's Double. Have you seen Devil's Double? 'Cause I am reading a lot of. Okay, okay, okay. Because you are now stepping into elections and politics, you better start watching these kind of movies, and take inspiration from the chapters in the history, and don't be one like the Devil's Double. Have you seen Devil's Double? The
Acha,
movie on
okay.
Saddam Hussein's son. He was go around on the streets of Baghdad and killing around people. Don't
Okay.
take
But I
inspiration
think
from
there'll be
that.
something that I can get inspired from.
Yes, maybe
I'll
from his
see
Rolexes
what
and
I can get away
Ferraris.
from it.
So, so finally, where can my listeners connect to you, Hitesh, and know more of you if I have been missing
Like connecting
anything?
with me,
Yes, where can my listeners, if they wish to connect, the all those people who keenly want to listen to you
YouTube,
more, where can they connect with
YouTube,
you
go on
on
YouTube,
your,
type in Superior
okay, on
Society.
your YouTube,
They'll find me there
and
and
they'll
I'll
find you
find
there.
them there.
Okay, and they'll watch your IIT degree burning
Yes,
video
certainly.
besides every other videos. So thank you so much, Hitesh, for being on my first episode. Why I began with you is because you are the youth and you recently contested elections, and it's your hunger and mine hunger as well that we are starting this journey to find out the key of how everybody can win elections, and may the best man win. And a person who works hard is always better than a man who is blessed with something rather than
Okay.
working
Yeah.
hard, right?
Right. You are right.
So thank you so much. Always, be in touch and keep telling me about your questions and other guests that I can invite and other guests that you want me to invite to my episode if you
Okay.
have
I
any
believe this
recommendations.
whole initiative was worth your time. So, I
Yes,
didn't know
this
if
was
this will
this
this would
was
work out.
was
I thought I would get hesitated. I would feel shy to give an interview.
see, but then why do you forget that
Yeah,
you are
that's
already
why
a
I had to go
superior?
through it. Otherwise, like I could not forgive myself for running away from it.
Yes, thank you for all the time,
Yeah.
and best wishes for the future. And I'll if you'll
Mm.
keep reading and listening to the podcasts, I'll keep dropping you more of the strategies that will require
Okay, and best
on
wishes
you
for
and
your
your
initiative
path.
also.
Thank you, Hitesh. Thank you
Okay.
for being such a lovely dear friend.
Nice talking to you, man.
Thank you.
Bye.